All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. How's it going, Jen?
It's great.
Happy Sunday. We finally got a beautiful weekend here in New Hampshire.
Yeah,
It's been uh,
amazing.
really hot. We did a beach day yesterday, which was a blast because, well, you had gone to the beach, but funny story, it was like
Oh,
50 degrees and the windiest day ever.
it was so cold. I needed a winter suit. I was miserable. I never even touched the water. The kids
That
went in,
was
they boogie boarded, but I was not happy.
was that
So we
early?
needed
That
a
was
read.
early summer, right?
It was end of June. Hmm.
Okay. All right. So right at the beginning of summer, and we got one yesterday, and it was fantastic.
Yep.
And
The
I am
kids couldn't
not
believe it.
I grew up on the beach or about 10 minutes from literally the ocean. So
Mm.
I look at it different. And I am not a go sit on the sand while there's 200 million other people there. But yesterday we did that. We carved out a little area, took the kids, my dad and his girlfriend met up. It was a good time.
It
So
was great. And we had a
got,
tent for the first
got
time in a
some,
long time. And that helped.
yes, lots of shade and good food and good time. So, all
Yep.
right. Today, I thought it would be fun to talk about what separates Hello.
Hmm.
And not in the way that we're saying that we're better than anyone or anything like that, just pointing out some things that we do, that we believe in, and when I say we do, we actually do. Because I
Hmm.
think there are a lot of people out there, you'll talk about that in a minute. So I'll leave that for you. But, anyways,
Okay.
the audience is like, what the hell is he going on about? No, I know it was a point you wanted to make, so I'll let you make
Yeah,
it in a
it's
little
a
bit.
big one too.
I want to start with going back to before we opened Hello, when we were in the planning phases, and we talked about what was important to us.
Hmm.
And we came up with basically three things to focus on.
Yeah,
We wanted to create a space that was fun for us to work in, that we
correct.
wanted to be at, that we
Yes,
wanted to take part in day to day, and that
extremely important.
yeah, and that's something that we would be proud of.
Yeah.
So I think that's important for your owners, for your visionaries, your CEOs. You have to want to do it.
Yeah. If you're walking
You-
into your space wherever you work and you don't enjoy being in there, no one else does either. So first, that's got to be your focus. And that was
yeah,
really important to me to I'm behind the chair 3 to 4 days a week. Plus we're doing all this other stuff, but I need to make sure when I walk in I'm behind the chair, I treat myself as if I'm staff of Hello and do I enjoy being here? Do I like what's happening in here? Because if I don't, it starts with me on those days, the energy I bring in, right? And then I have to ask myself why. What's going on? What's happening? What do we need to like tackle to change that?
yeah. For me, it was those things that you're saying, like just so that you can stay engaged. It was also I was coming from your business, the that I had spent a few months
Hmm.
at. That I just was like, I don't know if this is going to be for me, but I'm going to roll the dice because I wanted to build something with you,
Right.
and that trumped that. And then my gym before that, I had just reached a point where I was like, I'm not being like satisfied from this
Yeah.
like fully anymore. And I really wanted to assemble a team. And that brings us to the next thing, which is the staff. So the staff it was important for us to create a place that was different than what most, I'll say, other salons out there. Some people are telling me they don't know any salons like ours. I still find that hard to believe, but I'm hearing it from people outside of our doors.
Yeah.
And so,
I say it all the time.
yeah,
But
it's
my
not that.
awareness is very different. I've been in the industry for so long and I'm very aware of what we have curated at Hello and the special things that happen under that roof.
Yeah, and we wanted to create something that made people just feel part of something that was
Hmm.
like a collective,
Yeah.
and that
And
was
somewhat like equal too, like not a pecking order, like part of a collective, but
oh
felt
yeah.
like part of it in so many different ways, but not in a part where there's a blur between the business ownership and where your staff lies, but they do feel a sense of pride, a sense of protection, of wanting it to stay the way it is. Very important that they feel listened and heard and all of those things too.
Do they? Do they feel listen?
Listened and heard. Yeah, they do.
They feel heard,
They
maybe
feel heard.
understood. I had one
Yes,
of our
thank you. I have my
I
own language.
I had one of our staff yesterday or whatever day, not yesterday, but the day before, who said it's just amazing what happens when you have people that care about you. Like, you guys care. And she was talking to me about
Yeah.
me and you. And she said, you guys care about the people here, and it's clear.
Hmm.
And so I think when you give people that sort of support where you're like, we've had this, we've had customers come in that were jerks, that try to attack certain staff. And I just don't stand for it. I'm going to have your back no matter what. We'll
Right.
figure it out after. If you made a mistake, I'm fine with that. I don't care as long as it's not malicious. We all make
Right.
mistakes. So our staff, I think, knows that we have their back, and we've demonstrated that. I've demonstrated that. We've removed people from the salon that
Yeah.
weren't, like, we've physically said, you have to leave to clients, because
Hmm.
we don't let
Jerks.
we don't let that yeah, we don't
Jerks
let
in.
outside sort of people dictate how we
Yeah.
operate. It's just never going to happen.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the third sort of pillar of Hello, which is the client. And so we started with the mission. We want to give the client back part of their day.
Hmm.
And what does that mean? Because it sounds kind of like a little weird if you're like, what? Give a client back part of their day. Look, we're all so busy. We're slammed. We all have, not all, but people have kids, people have
Yeah.
jobs, people have businesses, they
Lots
have
going on.
spouses, partners. They got to get to the grocery store. There's so many things pulling us in so many different directions. So when we went through and identified the characteristics and built out the avatars for our marketing, we looked at our sort of ideal or perfect client, our seed clients.
Right.
We wrote down things about them, and one of those things was that our best clients appreciate and value time. They understand time. And so we know that they're being pulled in a million different directions, and we want to do something for them that they're going to value.
Right.
In this case, we try to take care of every aspect of the service. So we try to remove all the friction points. We try to make it as easy as possible for a client to book an appointment, and as easy as possible for them to walk in the
Hmm.
salon. What we do through our social media by trying to make it light and fun. That's really how it is. If you walk into Hello right now, what's today? Sunday? It's a little early, but there might be somebody dancing around, literally. And it's a fun atmosphere that we've sort of curated with our staff and with ourselves. And I hope, and what we've been seeing lately, so I don't hope, it's happening, is that trickles down to the client, where a client can walk through the door. I know for men and women, it can be intimidating to walk in. You're
Oh,
getting your hair,
yeah.
you're very exposed, you're out in the open,
Hmm.
you're sitting in a chair where people can be staring at you
Hmm.
or whatever. And we wanted to make that experience as comfortable as possible. So when we talk about giving the client back part of their day, that's what I mean. You walk in, you're greeted, it's friendly. We bring you in, we do, a thorough actual consultation, gain your trust, make you
Give you a
feel
tour.
welcome. Yeah, all the little things that will just make you be able to shut your mind off for a few minutes before you have to get back to your hectic day,
Hmm.
or a few hours, depending on the appointment, and just be.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of great feedback from clients. I have a
Mhm.
lot of first time clients that leave us Google reviews that talk about how welcome they were and how they felt actually heard and seen by the stylist, which is, I guess, rare. To me, this blows my
Yeah, I
mind.
think in today's world, the client has now become almost the pain in the ass. Like, you'll do what I want, not what we're supposed to do for them. We're in the customer service business, and I think we see often that that is forgotten.
Yeah. Social media, right?
Hmm.
I have to look tough on social media. I have to look
Yeah,
cool on social media. I have to look like
and
a boss babe on social media.
we remind all the time it's about customer service. Those
Yeah.
customers, those clients, whatever you want to call them, they are the importance of your business surviving. So you have to treat them, the ones that are amazing and the ones you want to keep, you have to treat them wonderful. Fantastic. Fantastical.
Yeah, that's a good word. Fantastical. I Yeah, I don't look at clients as a pain in the ass, even if they're being a pain in the ass. And what
Right.
I mean by that is, somebody might I handle our weddings, so wedding bookings go through me for the most part, because I do our website and all that stuff. So everything that comes in, I have forms set up, they fill them out, I contact them, And sometimes people will go back and forth with like 900 questions. And I'm like, all right, this person's not getting the information I need to, like, what can I do to make that better for them? Because I realize that planning a wedding is stressful.
Right. Not
Picking where
everyone knows the right questions to ask. So if it's their first wedding, they're just trying to navigate it and probably they're a hot mess and they need someone to help them.
hopefully it's their first wedding.
Yeah, true.
We did do a second wedding, but it was the same people. They did a
Yeah.
small, right, gathering, and
Yeah.
then they came back because they had a formal wedding like a year or two later. And they
I've
were
done
like,
first
hey,
and second weddings. They're fun.
I remember getting that email and it was like, hey, you did my hair for my first wedding. All right, do you have this date for my next one? And I was like, and they were like, it's us again. It's just we're having like a formal wedding
Yeah.
now. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Not that I discriminate. I would still set it up.
Yeah. It's all good.
Where what was I talking about? Social media, or were we past that?
I think you were wrapping up just the client experience and the customer service part of Hello and how important it is.
Yeah. So yeah, we can. Whatever I was saying was probably right. I don't remember exactly what I was
That's
saying.
great.
So if you're listening, just rewind to 30 seconds or whatever.
Basically making sure that the client doesn't like that people treat clients as if they're a pain, right? And we have
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, we talk to the staff about it. We explain on all different things of certain policies and procedures we have in place. And for us, the why is so important, right? If you don't understand the why, then you don't know why you're doing it and you're probably not going to do it. So the why for us, we have a fairly young professional staff. So it's really important for us to explain to them because they're very influenced by social media of why the clients are not a pain in the ass and of why it reminding them of the customer service part and reminding them of how you want to be treated, that's how you want to treat them, and just explaining that from all different perspectives. And then usually there's that moment, and I love it, where they're like, oh yeah, that makes so much sense. I didn't think of it like that, because the influence they're getting, like I said, is out on those platforms, and a lot of that comes back as negative, and they get in their head of like, it's you know, it's all about you, tell them no, do this. And yeah, you can, but this is what is going to happen if you follow that route, and this is what's going to happen if you follow the way that we have, laid out. And they're like, oh geez, that makes sense, why don't people talk about that? Well, maybe because that's not fun to talk about right now, but we live the real life and we want you to be super busy and we want you to be super successful, so this is the path that's going to get you there.
I had written this in my email, I think last week, but people just want to be treated like well.
Yep,
People
that's it.
want to walk through the door and feel welcome.
Hmm.
Not everything has to be perfect. They more so want to, if someone's having a down day, they want to feel like picked up, or they want to feel
Hmm.
like they have a place they can go to where maybe they're not judged, and maybe they can be down, or they just feel included in maybe something that's larger than themselves. And that might not be obvious because this industry is funny to me. I've only been in it for like 5 years. Before this, I had my gym. And then before that, I worked in restaurants, which I loved and I reference a lot. But it's all about the guest or
Hmm.
client or whatever you want to call them when it comes to restaurants. And that's always stuck with me. You have to take care of people because that's the whole thing. That's the
Yep.
whole game. And with social media, it's a disservice to the industry because there are a lot of people that are trying to drive like a separator where it's like I'm an artist and people are coming to see me from my artwork and all these things that make it about me, me, me,
Me,
me, me.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It sounds like you're warming
Be
up to
creative, but I mean, at
singing
the
the
end of the
opera. Me, me,
day,
me, me.
yeah.
Like you
Sorry.
are trying to make it about yourself. But here's the thing: you can have everything you want if you get other people what they want.
Hmm.
If you help other people get what they want, you can have everything you want.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that devalues anybody. I don't think that that takes away from anyone's art. I just don't. There's restaurants I've worked in where the chefs were absolute artists. But guess what they did? They would put that food in the window and then they would come on the other side to make
And
sure
make
that
it
they
about the customer.
make it about the customer
Yeah.
being happy. Because that at the end of the day, that's the cycle.
Yeah.
And I think
So,
it's
okay.
very off. I was just going to say, I think it's very off putting that a good portion of the industry and what we see on social media is like, the term boundaries makes me nauseous, but people want to have boundaries. That's great. Have boundaries, but you don't have to post about how these passive aggressive posts
Yeah, those
about
are yours.
doing
You
this or
protect
I'm
them. No
not
one has to
taking
know.
messages or books full or whatever. Like you're books full. That's another thing. Don't do that. But anyways, we could do a whole other topic on that. Maybe we'll talk about it next week. But
Okay.
anyways,
So,
go ahead and talk about some stuff you want to talk
well,
about.
I have,
Hopefully people got a little insight about how we built Hello, because that's really how it started. We started with napkins, and I'm not joking, at coffee shops and
yes.
many sessions. And we sat down with other people and designers and whatever. And we just laid all that stuff out.
Hmm. So I just want to, with that, I have a story that just happened and it made me so proud. And it talks about sort of if you are really treating your customers amazing, like what will happen. So on Thursday, I have a client, I do her and I do her daughters. And I went in early for her. So everyone has boundaries. I sometimes go in at 8:30 and I do hair and I love doing hair. So it's great for me. Plus the salon is slow. So I get some time just with my clients. But
Well,
anyway,
your boundaries and someone else's boundaries can be
very
different. I
different.
see
Yeah.
that too. People are arguing like, "Don't let
Yeah.
clients do this," and I'm like, "But what if that fulfills you to
Yeah.
allow
Fills my
clients to
cup.
do that?
Totally
What if
love it.
that?" Yeah. So go ahead.
So she comes in and they had, a lot of traveling, whatever. And she was just like, I was like, what's up for today? Today, the girls and I, it's self-care day. We're doing this, we're doing that. I'm getting my hair done. We're going to get facials. Amazing. So I'm
Nice.
finishing up her hair at the end of her appointment. She with me for a little bit. And her daughter texted her and she was just like, I can use names. It's fine. She's like, Ashley's having a meltdown. She's supposed to get this facial. They canceled on her. Now, mind you, when she called to be like, I have this appointment today, they forgot to put Ashley on hold. So she hears them talking shit about her. Like, this girl thinks she has an appointment. She doesn't. It's next week. And Ashley goes, I'm right here. And they're like, oh, shoot. Anyway, I digress. So she doesn't have a facial that day. And
What
this
is
was,
this, like a spa or
yeah,
something?
a spa.
Oh,
Yep.
jeez.
So
That's a
the
good
mom,
use of their money for their front
yeah.
desk.
So the mom is like,
Yeah.
Ashley's freaking out, whatever. And I said, when you leave, I have 15 minutes. I'm gonna grab a snack. I will reach out to Ashley. I will figure something out. She's like, Jen, even if you could just come in and sit with her for a few minutes, she just like needs to be cheered up. Like we had this day plan. Like this is awful. So I'm like, yeah, cool, whatever. So I reach out to Ashley. I'm like, I have a little bit of time. Like, what do you need today? And she's like, I don't even know. I just need something. So another Ava, my first apprentice at Hello, I was like, hey, we're gonna help Ashley out today. This is what I'm gonna do. This is what you're gonna do. She just needs to feel amazing. Come in, whatever. Literally, the minute Ashley comes in, I shampoo. And to what you said, everyone's like, hey, Ashley, how are you? What are you doing? I shampoo her and she's like, this is where I needed to be today. I already feel awesome. Like, holy moly. Now I've barely done anything. So I'm like, we're going to do this, that. And then Ava's going to finish you up. You're going to leave feeling great. She gave me a hug when she left. Like, she was just like, I so needed just to be at Hello today with your staff. And that is what, to me, doing hair is all about. Like, she left way better than when she came in. And she didn't know what she needed, but she knew she needed to be under our roof with the people around us that would make her feel amazing. So this transfers into really what I want to speak about, which is one of the core values that we laid out when we were building Hello. And it was something that I'd never had at my last salon, which was integrity. And I say that because I think there are a lot of, I'll say salons because that's the industry I'm in, but businesses in general that lay out kind of this is what we offer, this is what we do, this is how we act. We talked about this in the last podcast too. And yet none of those things do they actually do. Or if they do it at a very small percent. They don't do it all the time. They can't live up to all the things that they're offering. Now, I think on the surface, it's what they wish they were as a salon. It's what they want to be. It's where they want to be all of their offerings. But for whatever reason, they haven't put the systems in place and they can't actually do those things. So what happens is you come in, you have an interview, and they're like, we offer education's one I hear all the time. We offer this, 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 this. And you're like, oh my God, that sounds so amazing. And then you get in
So
that
you're
atmosphere. Oh,
so
God.
we just shifted from the client, Ashley. I was trying to use
Yeah,
you
sorry.
saying
That just set me up for integrity. One of the things that
gotcha.
like we
Okay.
said, we laid out was that we are here, we're a customer service business. Ashley is my point of we are doing the customer service business. There are a
Yes.
lot of people that probably say they are great at customer service, but they are not, but they want to be, but they don't know how. So that's where for me,
Call us. We've had a lot of practice. We can help
yeah,
you.
the biggest thing for Hello is this integrity factor because it keeps us honest, right? So I hired somebody beginning of the year.
It's treated the same way. When we say
We all get
integrity,
treated the same, and so we
everyone has the
started.
same offering, even our staff, everything is the
Yes,
same. All of our commissions are the same. There's nothing hidden.
no,
Everyone's
because
treated the same.
it's fair, it's equal. So she had come on, and then whatever it was that was a big part of what she wanted out of Hello, we started working on it. She's like, "Oh, we're really going to do this," and I was like, "Yeah." You're at Hello Hair Co. We actually do the stuff we say we're going to do. And I joke, but I know that we are rare. I know that it's very easy to go interview somewhere else, and there seems to be all these amazing opportunities they're offering that maybe you don't feel like you're getting at our salon or a different
Grass
salon.
is so green over there.
Yep. And then you get there and none of that stuff is real. Literally smoke and mirrors. They're just trying to get you through the door. And then unfortunately, you end up getting offered something completely different than what was in that interview. So the integrity portion became, I
Which
think,
is shame on those businesses because that's rude. And now
and it's what
you're
most are doing.
it's so this is starting to come to my attention. I've talked to several people over the last few weeks, and people are just being straight up lied to.
Yes.
Straight
Yes.
up, an owner will just lie right
Yes.
to your face, get you in the door,
Yes.
and then just take full advantage of you.
And I don't
And
know
that's wild to me. And
if
the next thing is, I don't know how those people stay. You have to pull the ripcord quickly and be like, I made a mistake, I'm leaving. Because no
so
matter what, you do not deserve to be treated like shit.
it's
You do
interesting you
not.
say that because I actually do coach to that. When people leave Hello, and I've had a few people over the years that like literally were like, I'm gonna go work at the salon. The owner's so rad. They say all this stuff. And I've been in the salon long enough. Most people I know who you're working for. So unfortunately, when you come and
Yeah,
you're
like, I
already,
know that person.
yeah, I'm like, not
They're not
anything you
that
said
rad.
is real. But I have to be careful. If you're coming to me for advice, different. If you're coming to me, I'm leaving, you're leaving. So I always coach to exactly what you said. So, which is the grass isn't always greener. Here's what I'm going to tell you. You're going to get in there and you'll know right away if they're as rad as they say or if your opportunity is great as they're offering. And as soon as you realize it's not, there's no shame in leaving that and finding another salon. But what you should learn is
Uh,
you need to now do like better prep in what salon you're picking because most salon owners are going to lie. Whether they mean to or not, it's just where it's at. And it sometimes hurts my heart because I know when they're making a bad choice. I understand it. But to me at that point, and we've talked about this, if you don't see the value we offer, you're not for us anyway. Because the people that
yeah.
are under our roof, they'll say to me every day, all day, every time someone leaves, like, this place is so amazing. Where are they go? What are they thinking? And I'm like, I don't know. Like they've been duped. But what the thing is that they're allowed, that's their personality. They're allowed to be duped. So they're not for us. We are all about the people that look at Hello and are like, this is a gem. It's a one in a lifetime salon, and I want to be here for as long as you guys are, and I want to learn from you guys as long as you guys will teach us. So those are the people that stay and have an amazing appreciation for what we offer. The other ones, you hope for the best, but there's nothing I could do about salons that are just dirtbags.
Yeah, and you said hello is a gem. So that just quickly put into my mind it's a gem, but you have to polish the part of it that you're on. So
Right,
what do I mean by that? I mean, we know who we are, we know how we operate, we know what we bring to the table. Do you? Do you even know what you're
right.
looking for? So sometimes I've seen this. People are duped. I'll keep using that word because
It's
you
a good
used it.
one.
It's a good word, but people are duped into thinking that they're going to make all this money.
Hmm.
That's a popular one. Hey, you're going to make all this money, and they give them an example, and then the people get there and they're like, "Yeah, no, that's not how it worked." I've seen people get duped into going to work for themselves, you know, by someone else that's been doing it for 15 years, shows them some stuff, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, if I just do this, I'll have that." But you haven't done any of the groundwork for the
Right,
first 10, 12, 15 years that person did. So
right,
it's not going to be the same for you. And if you don't know your core values as a person, how can you go to a company and try to align with their core values?
right.
What are you doing? So unfortunately, some people are just going to get lost through just like nature, the
Hmm.
process. Like we have a lot of people that come through and are looking for jobs. Some we give interviews, some we aren't in the position because they're too far off or whatever. There's always circumstances, and it's one of the things that we always tell people is to figure out what you really want
Hmm.
and then make sure it aligns with us if we're bringing you in. And if somebody else brings you in, that's great too. Make sure that you align with what they're doing. And if you ask the owner of a salon what their core values are, their mission, or what they stand for, and they can't answer that in like 10 seconds, I would run.
Right.
I would just go find a different place because, and a lot of people too, like you really need to pay attention because a lot of people can say words and hang words on a wall. We
Hmm.
have our core values on our wall. It's a bright yellow wall, and we have them framed, and they're up there, and they're on the way to the bathroom.
Daily reminder.
They're there for this. They're on the way to the bathroom so the customers can see them. They're on the way to the back room so that the staff sees them. And that was probably the best wall for them in reality. So I
Yeah.
love to think that I, planned it that way. But, they're out in the open. And I think that part is easy to do. What's difficult is to live them every day.
Right.
What's difficult is to, courage is one of our other core values. What's difficult is to have the courage to tell a client that they're not a good fit and not
Hmm.
worry about the money that the business isn't gaining.
Right. Right.
It's trusting that the integrity, if we just hold it, if we just keep holding, that eventually things will get there.
Hmm.
And for our staff that have stuck with us, that is what they find.
Yeah.
They find success, but they're constantly polishing their part of the
Right.
gem. They're not just going to show up at hello and sit around. Those people just don't last. We've had
Right.
people that try to do that, and we let them. We let them because, these aren't, like you said earlier, or you alluded to, these aren't bad people or anything.
Nope.
They're just people. And sometimes people can get duped.
Yes.
What else about that? I know you had a bunch of.
That was really the main thing. I think it was the word integrity. And I challenge anyone who's running a business out there, like, to really look at what you're offering and if your actions are actually offering that. And if you can't live up to the things that you are offering, then pick one and focus on it, figure out how to like make some consistent changes and have that be the one thing you really offer. And then maybe in a little bit when you're able to really consistently know you're doing that all the time, now add the next one rather than trying to like fluff and buff a whole big offering of things that maybe your business is giving somebody, but really you can't do most of that. So I think it challenges the owners and the leaders out there to really make sure you're walking the walk and talking the talk of the things that you say your business stands for. And then from a side of people out there looking for jobs, the way you interview is extremely important. Like we say all the time, like go in, get a service at a salon, go in and just hang with the staff, go in and don't get a service. Maybe just walk around and like feel the energy, the vibe, then go from there. I wouldn't blindly just do an interview and take a job without doing those things. It's your job to do some work prior.
One of the things that we offer at Hello, so if you're listening and you're a newer stylist, or even if you're not newer, even if you're someone that's been in the industry, is just what we call shadowing. And
Hmm.
shadowing at our salon, what that means to us is you coming in and just hanging out and getting a taste of the culture. It is not sweeping floors or
No.
doing laundry or anything like that. It is meeting clients. It could even be feeling clients' hair. I don't,
Yeah.
hey, come over here. I
It's
want you
just
to
it's a
check this
vibe,
out.
right? Like, does this feel like something where you want to be? And if so, like, let's chat. And if it's not, totally cool.
And there is so much value that comes out of that. We've had people come in and shadow with zero expectation of any sort of a job. It's something that we offer. If somebody reaches out, hey, can I come hang out for the day? Yes, is the answer. When? I'm not sure. We'll
Yeah.
figure out a day to make it work. But what the reason I'm bringing this up is because recently I've had people reach out and they're probably playing the odds of large numbers. So they're probably reaching out to a million other salons. And I'm saying, hey, we don't have a position at the moment. Okay. But here are some thoughts. And I lay out some thoughts and I always offer the shadowing. I think the last one that I offered this to, I didn't even hear back.
Hmm.
And I was just like, wow, you're missing out
Hmm.
on, because even if you don't work here, you can get a glimpse of what is, I guess, how a business operates. I would go into every business if I could, maybe not for a whole day, but spend a couple hours watching a business operate and you can learn a ton, even
Yep.
if they're bad. So if somebody is offering, you to come hang out, you're going to see how they treat their clients. They can't really hide that. They can hide it on social media. You can't really hide that in person.
I
You're
think
going to see
though,
how they treat their staff too. You're going to see how if they have a front desk staff, how they interact with them. You're going to see how they treat their people under them.
right.
If you are going into somewhere as an assistant, do you want to just grab coffees and sweep floors? Do you want to do oil changes for the owners? You know what I mean? Like
Stop it.
what? That's
I
true shit.
know. I know. I
Okay.
know.
Do you want to do the owner's returns around Christmas time
You
so
want to
that they
be
don't
out
have to
express every other day.
go through traffic?
Oh,
You know
geez.
what I mean? Like it's people are getting taken advantage of. So, anyways, if you're out there listening and you want a shadow, let me know. I'll make it happen for you.
And I feel it's again what sets us apart. We offer that because the young professionals coming out, there's all different types. And those that are truly looking for a career path at a salon, those are the ones that take up the shadow opportunities. The ones that pass it, they're just looking for any salon to work at. you're not for us. Like, we're not just any salon, right? We
Yeah,
want
they
you to
don't want
pick
to
us,
invest
but
the
we need to
time.
pick you back. Yeah, if
They don't
you're
want to
not willing
invest
to do
the
the
time
first
at all.
steps, you're mm-mm.
Sometimes I'll have people reach out and they're like, "Hey, I have 10 months of school left," and I'm like, "Okay, what do you like?"
I mean, you
Go
just
through the
started
10 months.
today.
But I'll have, I'll offer them to shadow, and some of them come in, and some of them I think they don't want to invest because they're like, "Well, what am I going to gain out of it?"
Yeah, a
And that's
relationship
the vibe
potentially
that I,
in the future, right?
yeah,
We're looking for a certain mindset is what it comes down to, and that kind of is the first step to finding that right person that maybe we even take a little bit of time for.
yeah, because we've had people that we've waited for.
Yeah. Mhm.
We just hired someone that had a few months of school left, and we hired her earlier, or we. What happened was we brought her in for shadowing,
Yes.
and you were like, I said, "How is she?" I'll just use her name, Sarah. How is Sarah? Was it fun? And you were like, "She fits," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay." I wasn't
From
even
the staff,
expecting
from
that.
the culture, I was like, "Whoa," I didn't even realize sometimes, like
We weren't hiring.
yeah, it was like she already worked there. It was perfect.
She just fit, and
Yeah.
so the staff was coming to me, and they were like, "She was amazing," and then they just loved the
Yeah.
vibe. That nothing to do
It was
with
cool.
hair.
Right.
Nothing at all to do with hair. I didn't even
Yep.
care about the hair. It was just like,
Yeah.
wow, she fits. All right, let's bring her in for more of a formal, like not formal, but our interview process is like a chat. It's
Yeah.
just we get to know somebody on a little bit of a different level, and outside of hair, I don't ask any hair questions
Yeah.
really. You ask a few hair
I do. I
questions,
need to for my technical
of course.
education
You're the
plan.
one that does the technical stuff,
Yeah.
but for me, it's like, tell me about yourself. Don't mention hair. I want to just tell me
Yeah.
something fun.
Yeah.
You're so much more than just your job, and that's how you should be treated as a human being.
Agree.
So I think that's good. Let's
Yeah.
wrap.
Cool.
All right. We got a little kid's birthday party to get to. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening so much. Please reach out. If you're still listening, hit subscribe on something, hit download, hit text us, whatever. We'd love to
Message
hear
if you
from
wanna
you.
hear something else that we can talk about.
Yeah, talk to us. All right. Bye, everyone.